In this video, we're going to learn about the simulation tools and see our dress in 3D. The following will be covered in this video: simulation tools, snapshots, and basic 3D styling. If you're coming back to this file after working on another avatar, be sure to load the correct avatar in the 3D window. The simulation tools can be found on the top right of the main toolbar, which includes Prepare, Dress, Finish, Undress, and the styling tools. We learned about Prepare mode in the previous lesson. Dressing a garment drapes the pattern pieces we have prepared on the avatar and takes the avatar from its prepared pose to the final pose that we selected at the top of the 3D window. We click on the Dress button to begin simulating the garment. When we click Dress, the Finish button is highlighted with a line moving around the edge of the icon while the simulation continues. The first simulation from Prepare mode is completed automatically. This means that each time we click Prepare, then Dress, we do not have to manually click on the Finish button for the simulation to be completed. The line moves around the Finish icon until the simulation is complete. Once the simulation is complete, the Finish icon is grayed out. When we make any changes to the garment that may affect simulation, the Dress icon changes to Update 3D. This indicates that there are changes to the garment we may need to simulate. For example, if we amend the stitching or edit a pattern shape. Let's remove one sleeve cuff from 3D. Select the sleeve cuffs. In the context view under Draping Properties, uncheck Use in 3D. The Dress icon changes to Update 3D. We click on Update 3D to allow the garment to simulate. As the garment simulates, the line continues to move around the Finish icon. This indicates that the garment is in a simulation process and will only complete simulation once we manually click the Finish icon. So what happens after we complete a simulation? When we finish a simulation of a garment, a snapshot is saved. A snapshot saves the final simulated garment and works as reference point, allowing us to quickly retrieve previously simulated output of a dressed garment. We can click on this icon to view snapshots, or we can also view snapshots in the Resources tab 3D Snapshots. Here is an example of how we can utilize a snapshot. At any time, we can use the Undress button to remove the garment from simulation. We can dress the garment again in two ways. Use Prepare, then begin to simulate again using Dress. Or load a snapshot. Loading a snapshot is useful if we do not want to redress the garment from Prepare again. There are two types of snapshots, an automatic snapshot and a manual snapshot. An automatic snapshot is created each time a simulation finishes, and it overrides the previous snapshot for the same avatar. For example, let's go back to Prepare, then add the cuff back by checking Use in 3D. Then click Dress. Once it is finished, the previous snapshot without the cuffs is no longer available and is replaced with the current simulated garment snapshot. A manual snapshot must be created. This snapshot is not overridden when we dress and finish a garment. To save a manual snapshot, we go to the Snapshot tab located on the 3D tab. We click Save Snapshot. We name the snapshot, then click Save. The snapshot now appears on the Snapshots tab and the name is also displayed there. The selected snapshot is highlighted. Do note for manual snapshots, it only saves the drape of the garment. Therefore, if you change the stitching, fabric, or a pattern piece, you need to update the manual snapshot. For example, let's delete the stitch on the placket. We dress and finish the garment. An automatic snapshot is created. If we load the manually saved snapshot created previously, it loads the drape at the time we saved the snapshot. However, if we dress the garment, the placket will open as it is not stitched. Let's restitch the placket. Remember to flip the stitch. Then we reload the snapshot. Great! Now we have a better understanding of snapshots. Before we move on, we want to share with you some useful points on snapshots. Number 1. When you open a BW file, the first thing you should check is if it has a snapshot. This saves you time as you do not have to prepare and dress every single BW file you open. Number 2. When we have multiple snapshots, it can be difficult to remember which snapshot would be overwritten if we simulate the garment. When simulating, we see on the Snapshots tab that a snapshot is highlighted. This is the snapshot that would be overridden once we click Finish. Number 3. When simulating, if we need to stop the simulation without saving the current drape, we can load a snapshot again. In this case, it would not finish the snapshot and would load back the previous drape so we can work from there again. Lastly, if we dress the garment on another avatar or another pose, the automatic snapshot created with the previous avatar or pose is not replaced. It creates another automatic snapshot with the selected avatar. Next, we will show how to use the 3D styling tools. The 3D styling tools allow us to position the garment for presentation. For example, when you get dressed at home or try on a garment, you use your hands to adjust where the garment sits on your body. That is what this tool does with your 3D garment. Now let's learn more about this tool so we can interact with the garment in the 3D window. The 3D styling tool is located on the far right side of the main toolbar along with the other simulation tools. When we turn on the 3D styling tool, the 3D styling pane is displayed. The horizontal contextual menu displays various options. Let's look at the styling tools Pinch and Brush. When Pinch is turned on, we can grab a small area of the garment and move it. To use Pinch, we left-click and hold the mouse, then drag in the desired direction. We click Update 3D to simulate the garment from its new position. When we press the Update 3D button at this stage, gravity is applied and the fabric drapes in its new position. Here's a useful tip. When using the 3D styling tool, small and slow mouse movements provide better control of the fabric movement. When Brush is turned on, we can select the area that we would like to move using a brush stroke, then move that selection. To use Brush, we left-click and hold the mouse, then move the mouse to select. Once an area is selected, we release the mouse button. Then we hover the mouse over the pin and drag the selected area. Here are a couple of useful tips for the brush tool. To select multiple areas, press the Shift key while selecting. To select an entire piece, press the Control key, then click the piece you want to select. On a Mac, press the Command key. Within the brush tool, we can enable Erase. When Erase is turned on, we can erase any part of the brush selection by dragging the mouse over it. The Radius option adjusts the size of the area that we select. It works for both Pinch and Brush. Take some time now to get acquainted with the Pinch and Brush tool. You can pause the video here. Within the Pinch and Brush tool, we have Regular and Focused Effect options. Regular is enabled by default. Styling with Regular on may affect the whole garment. If Focus is enabled, the simulation is applied only on the area affected by that tool and the immediate surrounding parts of the garment. Pinching with Focused on allows more control over smaller portions of the garment. As a result, pinching may feel a little stickier than usual. Pause the video here and take some time trying to pinch and style the garment with the regular and the focused effects. Hold, flatten, and retouch are properties that we can apply once we have selected part of the garment. Each of these is color-coded. Hold is blue, flatten is orange, retouch is pink. Let's focus on hold and flatten. The hold property holds the selected area in place while the other areas of the garment are styled. The flatten property smooths out the selected area. In this video, you've learned how to dress and style the garment. Congratulations on simulating your first denim style of the training! For more information on the topics discussed, check out the video description.